Um, Michael, to say we're at the business end is a bit of an understatement now, isn't it? How do you see it now?
Well, I see it the same. I've seen it all season. They're important games. Tomorrow, because of the league position of us both, I think it's even more important than anything we've had all season.
Yeah. Does the win on Tuesday alter your mindset going into tomorrow?
No. I'll never go somewhere to try and play for a draw. Because usually when that happens, you come unstuck. I'm going to win the game.
But you can understand that maybe a draw would suit you better than them.
Well, then you're also relying on Salford not picking up a win. Because if Salford win, again, that puts them right behind us as well. Don't get me wrong, I'm not going there and playing 6 strikers.
Well, you have ended up with 6 strikers on before now, haven't you, towards the end of games?
We've needed to, Rob.
Yeah. I mean, it is huge, isn't it? I mean, how do Padraig Amon was saying it in the week that, he's spoken to some of the youngsters and said, look, we're in a worse position. I've checked this out. You were 11th at this stage when you got the playoffs 2 years ago. 2 points adrift, not where you are now. Is that important, the old heads now at this time of the year, Mike?
Of course it is. They need to go above and beyond now, not just concentrate on themselves. They need to help their teammates out who have never been in this position as well, because that's what a team's all about. You try and guide younger players. The younger players will try and do that extra few yards for the older players if needed. And look, they've all got to come together, which they have done all season, really. They've got a good bond between in the changing room, and hopefully we get, we play well tomorrow and we get what we deserve.
Is it possible the way things are in League Two, you might have to win every game from now to make it?
What, the playoffs? No, I'd say no because of the fixtures that the team's got, but I think we're going to need a few wins. Yeah, that goes without saying, Rob, definitely.
Are you happier with the way you're playing now than you were? Ironically, I mean, you played really well against Cambridge and lost. You played well on Tuesday and won. Is your form there now, do you think?
You like to think so, wouldn't you? You even look at it, the Barrow game. First half, we should have been out of sight. Even Crawley away, where we've drawn 1-1, should have been out of sight. They didn't hit the target. We long ball forward and we score an own goal. It's crazy. Like I said the other day, we've dropped 27 points from individual errors. And that's being conservative.
Yeah. How is Ryan Taylor looking for tomorrow?
He's a lot better, whether we risk him or not. It's a decision we'll make after training today.
Yeah. Now, when they came here, they had 2 men sent off. How important is cool heads at the moment?
Well, listen, we know what red cards or how red cards have affected us, not just in the games, but the weeks after and the games after. That's the last thing you want to be having and happening to you now is red cards in the game, because there's too much at stake.
And matthew.owen, is he fully recovered now?
Yeah, Matty's available.
So when you talk about old heads, he's seen a lot, hasn't he? Even in his time at Newport and before that.
Yeah, it's a decision I've got to make now, whether he comes back in or not.
Is it a big decision?
Yeah, I think it is, because he's been very good this season. But you have a look at the way we played the other night. I thought everybody played very well.
Right. No other injury worries at all, other than the ones we know are already.
No, we've had some good news this week on Priestley as well, so he might be back sooner than we thought.
What, possibly this season?
Yes.
Would that be dependent on getting the playoffs, Mike, or what?
No.
Or is he?
No, he might make 1 or 2 games before the end.
Wow. That's miraculous, isn't it?
Well, it was 3 weeks yesterday. They said 4 to 6 weeks. You look at it, he's, it was, it's a unlucky injury, but it was a fortunate one, because if it was one of the other ligaments attached to it, then he's probably looking at surgery. So the good thing was it was only the one ligament, and we were able to get him on the road to recovery a lot quicker than we would have been.
Good news. Last one from me. You're in there scrapping for playoffs. Who do you think it's between? How low do you get? How many others do you think are in it, Mike?
Listen, I don't want to, write any teams off, and I don't want to be disrespectful, but you look at the table. You've got Salford, Carlisle, Exeter. They're the ones that really stand out at the minute. I think we'd all, you look at it, all three of them and us would have to go on bad runs, really bad runs for somebody else to sneak in. You know what I mean? So, Forest Green are still in there. You look at those five clubs. It's I'd say it's 2 spaces out of those 5, really. 2
out of 5, yeah. And again, last one, you would have settled for this at the start of the season, would you?
Yeah, 100%. If I told you my remit was to stay up, but we get to a point where we know how good we were. We were top for a long time, and you can see why some fans have been frustrated, because they do get carried away and excited. But we've had a lot go against us. And like I said, we haven't helped ourselves at times with individual errors.
Well, I wish you the best tomorrow.
Cheers, Rob.
See you there.
Top man.
I'll be there.
Quite a mundane one today, wasn't it? Huh?
Well, yeah, but you're all keyed up, aren't you? Because it's a big game tomorrow. You can tell when it's a big game with you.
Nah, I'm all right. I'm chilled out.
Oh, tell me something funny then if you want. I don't mind.
Let me think. It's my little boy's birthday today, so there, he's 6.
Oh, which one is that? What's his name?
Edward.
Oh, right, the wild one.
No, Sam's the wild one. But
right, okay.
Edward's the one who was on my shoulders when we stayed up. The Great Escape, the little one.
Well, actually, you've reminded me. I said last one. The last time you won at Exeter was Tom Owen Evans' goal.
1-0, yeah.
So
that was a big game as well, wasn't it?
It was. What was bigger, that one or this one?
I'd say that one. So
maybe Edward, this will be for Edward then tomorrow as well, yeah?
Yeah, well, hopefully. Otherwise, the boys will be in Saturday night and Sunday morning.
Okay. Cheers, Mike. I'll see you tomorrow.
Cheers, Rob.
Mike, obviously, the Priestley one, I guess that shows, he tweeted in haste, I guess.
That's why they should think before they tweet.
Yeah. But anyway, it is a boost, another option, which obviously you've got lots of options at the back suddenly, haven't you?
Well, hopefully, I'm going to say this in the right manner. Hopefully, we don't need him.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, well, that brings me on somebody on. I know you don't like social media at times, but Liam Jones said, please ask him to play the same team, and that says it all about the performance on Tuesday. It was really good, wasn't it?
Cheers, Liam. Thanks for your input, mate.
But there we are. But it's building on that performance, isn't it? It's going to be. You'll need that level.
Yeah, listen. It's like I've just said. Have a joke with Liam's tweet and all. Fans. They've got that platform now to voice their opinions. But that's not the worst opinion I've heard, Chris. If I'm honest. It was asked in the right way. It was, how you've just delivered it. And let's be honest, he's got a bit of substance behind it. It's not something they've just thrown out there willy-nilly. So that's quite a good tweet.
It is. It's better than any of mine, I can tell you. But in terms of your team, though, one thing is you've got that versatility. You can the opposing manager can see your team at 2 p.m. and he'll still be thinking, what they're going to be doing here. It can. That's a real.
That was a bit of thinking with the Cambridge one as well. You know, obviously we had to freshen things up. And they said to us afterwards, they said, we did not have a clue what he was going to do. You know, he said he watched us the game before. He said, what a waste of time that was. You know, I picked the team against Cambridge to win the game. And we should have won the game. You know, it's that was obvious. And it didn't happen that way. But you could see, you know, the reason why we do certain things is because we think that will upset the opposition. And it will work against the opposition the way they play. It's a little bit of cat and mouse, a little bit of a chess game, because we hadn't been on that consistent run of form. If you're on the consistent run of form, a lot of the time, it looks after itself. But, you know, we were searching for one or two new little formulas. But Tuesday night, again, I thought they were very good. Especially the first half was one of the best we played all season.
And we're speaking to him in a minute, and we mentioned him afterwards. Anthony Hartigan was key after that sort of settling spell, and the way that you moved the ball, which was
well, that's why I brought him here, you know. And I think I'm quite honest, open and honest for you. It's if we don't go up, you know, they're things that we'll probably sit down and talk about with the board after January. We decided to stick with our principles and bring in more technical players. I didn't expect the pitch to go as bad as it did. I've never in my wildest dreams thought I'd be managing Newport County at a home game at Cardiff City Stadium. Goes to show what a bad situation we were in. So, you know, you can't cover every base. You try to, but, you know, there's always something that catches you out at times. And Anthony was brought here because of how good he is on the ball, technically as well. And unfortunately for him, when we brought him in, the pitches went. You know, you might say, well, you knew the pitch was going to go. Well, yeah, I did, but not as bad as it did go.
One thing from me, a bit of an odd question is you'll say they're all odd, but I had my jab yesterday. I don't know if you're probably in the same bracket as me. Are you sort of having a plan for that with players? Because you can have reactions. You don't want that on a...
I had mine last Sunday, Chris. I know I look a lot younger than you, but yeah, I had mine. I had mine last Sunday. It was fine. No reaction, nothing. I think I went and done a 7K run afterwards.
Oh, there we are. I'll have to up my game later then. But no, I was just wondering whether, because obviously you don't want to. You've got some players who'll be coming up in that bracket, won't you? The 30s, they're working.
I think Kev had his about 6 months ago. Kev Ellison. Yeah.
Or is it just?
Let's just see if they can hang on for a few weeks.
No, odd question, I know, but there we are. Hey,
no, it's not. That's what I'm saying, Chris. It's the world we're in at the minute. There are no real odd questions because, like I said, if you would have said to me a year ago you're going to be managing Newport County at a home game at Cardiff City Stadium, I'm going to say I think you should lay off the illegal substances.
Yeah. Well, on that bombshell, I'll leave it to Rob. We're all good.
Cheers, right, Chris.
Cheers, mate.
I've got a tweet here from R. Phillips, somewhere in Abertillery.
Yeah.
If you don't win on Saturday, what will you... No. That was a nasty game against Exeter, that first one. And they sent it forward with that elbow. I mean, it was terrible.
Yep.
Do you think there's going to be any afters?
No. It's not in his character. You know, Ryan he's a good professional. He's had a good season. I haven't even thought about that, Rob, if I'm honest. You know, I know Matty well. He will expect discipline from his boys, and I'll be expecting exactly the same from ours.
Yeah. I mean, their boss was under the cosh with the team he brought down that day, and he was really proud of the effort of his lads. But I guess they're going to be fighting for their lives, aren't they?
But they were when they played us here. You know, he should have been proud of his lads because they held on with 9 men until right at the end. And I know that pitch conditions helped them do that, but I was very impressed with them. That night they showed me a a different side to what I thought they usually have. They're very good going forward. They score goals. We know that, but that night they dug in, and you've got to give credit where it's due. I was impressed with Exeter, even though we had so many opportunities to win the game.
Winning breeds confidence, and you're going to go there, I thought, on a bit of a high. And when you're on a bit of a high, you play that a little bit better.
Yeah, look, it was important to get the win. You know what I mean? It was a valuable 3 points. I know, going back to what Rob was saying in his first question, it does give us maybe the opportunity to shut up shop and go for the point. Put it this way, if it was the last game of us getting in there, then maybe my thought process might be a bit different.